Hey there, legendary souls, and welcome to Unconventional Counseling. I am Ada at Astra, and today we're going to talk about a couple of transits that are going to be impacting you. You're going to be feeling these. So, I want to talk about Venus in Leo going retrograde, and I want to talk about the North and South Node movement that has just recently happened. So Venus is in Leo. Venus in Leo is bold, direct, determined, playful, creative, and so heart-centered. Now with Venus going retrograde in Leo, we are being invited to create more time for play just for the sake of play. We're being invited to connect to our inner child in a way that isn't just about creating more structure and discipline. Like, that is so important for our healing journey, especially if we didn't have that growing up. But there's also this opportunity to make room for creation and just for creation's sake. It's important. It might be important for your journey to share those creations. It might be important for your journey to not. But whatever it comes down to, whatever you intuitively feel called to do, know that Venus retrograde is supporting you in kind of going within, but going within so that you can radiate and shine from a deeper place, a more authentic place. You might also be thinking a lot about some past relationships. So past relationships, this could mean romantically, a past partner. It can mean a good friend. It can mean a family member. It can be a whole organization. Maybe you left a work environment that really felt connected to your identity, or a community organization where you felt like so much of who you were was supported there. It could be you leaving what is it called? A place of worship, or a spiritual tradition, or a place of worship. There are just so many different types of relationships that we cultivate in a lifetime, and I get the sense that there is one or a few that you've left quite recently, like the past 6 months to a year, the past maybe even 2 years. There's something. It doesn't matter about timing so much. It matters more so what's on your heart. And your heart knows what is recent, because you might still be waking up thinking about this person or people or place. You might still be grieving in just such a particular way, crying at times that you don't really expect. There might be things in your current life that remind you of this past person or this past people or this organization. And it's just like, it can be so jarring to be in such a place of grief that you're not quite sure what's going on. You're not quite sure if your heart is healing. You're not quite sure if there is movement happening. Like, you might just want to move forward, but it feels almost like your heart is pulling you back, or pulling you to go within, or having you want to stay inside, or not share as much just because you're hurting. Your heart is hurting. This Venus retrograde may be amplifying that experience that you've been having and inviting you to go even deeper, to find more compassion for your journey, to find more compassion for your heart. Your heart isn't pulling you backwards. Your heart is pulling you through something. And whatever it was that you left, whatever it was that broke down, whatever it was that broke up or felt like it got destroyed, whatever connection this was that was so significant to you, so impactful for you, it meant the world to you. You felt like you knew who you were because you had this connection in your life. You looked at this person, these people, this situation, this place, and you were like, yeah, I know this place and I know me because I know this place. You were intertwined in a very particular and a very significant way. Untangling something that has been intertwined is incredibly painful, and it's delicate work. Your heart is doing delicate work. And so this Venus retrograde, you might be able to see a little bit more clearly how far you've come since that moment of the breakup. You might be able to see and feel just how much pain there is. You might be able to actually acknowledge it in a new way. You might be choosing to not invalidate any longer just how painful this experience has been for you on your journey. And there's something so liberating in just saying that thing, that person, that place, that experience has broken my heart. My heart is broken. My heart is broken open. My heart is shut down. I don't want this. I can't do that. I'm tired. I'm in pain. There's something so revolutionary about telling yourself the truth of what you're feeling, especially when it has to do with heartbreak. I know this personally, if you can't tell from the way I'm speaking about it. So this Venus retrograde is offering more of an opportunity for you to be with you. So it's one thing to have a broken heart and to try to run away from how much it hurts. It's another thing to have a broken heart and to let yourself cry. It's another thing to have a broken heart and to let yourself, vent about it, or to journal about it, or to talk about it with a good friend or a counselor or a spiritual healer. It's another thing to allow yourself to get the healing, right? Like to action your self-care, to action your rest, to intentionally rest. It's different. Your heart's still broken, but it's two different experiences. While you're on this journey of thinking through, of healing through, of seeing differently this experience that you've had, this defining moment in your life, this defining relationship, and how it's ended and how it's shifted out of your life, there's also this opportunity with the North nodes that moved. So the North node is in Aries now and the South node is in Libra. There's an opportunity to get honest with yourself, to be transparent with yourself about the ways that you tried to hold on maybe a little longer than your soul or your heart told you that the connection might have stayed in your life. You might have tried to dig your fingers into that whole experience. You might have tried to people please. You might have tried to manipulate. You might have tried to force a person to see you and to see your heart and to see your courage and to see that you could fight for the connection and they could fight too if you would just meet. You just tried to will these two magnets at different polarities, push them together. You know what happens when you force magnets with different polarities together, or the same polarity. You force magnets with the same polarity. Two positives or two negatives, try to force them together, they repel each other. They repel each other with an invisible force that's very strong. It don't line up. And this North Node and South Node movement is showing us that anything that has not lined up in our life has shifted out of our life. So there's like a new layer being added to the heartbreak. There's a new layer being added to the anger. There's a new layer being added to the hurt, to the grief, to the compassion, to the empathy, to the sadness, to the pain. A new layer. It was not in alignment with you, with who you are. And with the North Node in Libra, in Aries, there's this like a different type of energy. It doesn't feel very like traditionally American to me, of like, oh, I'm just an independent person and I don't need anybody and I'm just gonna do my own thing. Nah, it doesn't really vibe. It doesn't really vibe, you know. I'm a child of immigrants. I don't really want none of that. It's weird. It's weird to me. Instead, it's more like, where are the places that I've actually lacked self-confidence? Where are the places that I've felt deeply insecure? And how can I grow in my confidence? How can I grow in my sense of inner security? How can I action the things that I want to create? How can I pay more attention and put my energy more so into the things that I love? It's just, it feels more like directing your energy where you want to go and moving forward in that energy, moving in the direction of that energy, rather than any sort of opposition to someone else. The shadow traits of Aries energy is that it can be very arrogant, it can be very risky and things like that, like risk-taking. And some people, they really got a lot of negative things to say about those energies, or they call Aries the baby of the zodiac as though that's a pejorative and a negative thing. There is something so powerful about having a beginner's mind. There is something so powerful about youth, which is why I think we revere it so much in so many cultures. It's like, you haven't had enough experiences of failure. You haven't had enough experiences of someone telling you that you couldn't do it, enough for you to internalize it. Like, young people do shit. They just go out and they do shit. They're just like, you know what? Let me try it. Oh, it didn't work out? Okay. Let me try something else, or let me try again. There's an energy with this Aries North Node that is going to impact how you view yourself, how you view relationships, and also like the relationships that you're calling in. Because the relationships, your life isn't over. I know your heart is broken, but your life ain't over. There are connections that are more aligned to you. Connections that like the types of which that you've probably never seen before. Conversations you've probably never even been able to have with people. Depths that you have not been able to go, that you're desiring to go. There's a tenderness and affection and playfulness and sweetness that you've been like craving out of life. Craving. I have this image of like eating a mango that is like not quite ripe, and you're just like, damn, I already started eating it. I just want it to be sweet. But what is it like when you eat a piece of fruit that is so sweet? It's like your eyes are big, your mouth is watering. It is a multi-sensory experience. It's just like dripping down your fingers. It becomes sensual. You start to feel more alive. All you're doing is eating a piece of fruit. How is it becoming so decadent and so indulgent? All you're doing is eating a piece of fruit. That's what it's gonna feel like. These new relationships that are coming, potentially through this retrograde experience, but also on the other side of it, as energies keep moving, as these transits are with us, as this Aries North Node has you directing your energy towards what you want. As you direct your energy towards what you want and you keep healing this heart of yours, this beautiful heart of yours, people and situations and organizations and opportunities will attract to where you're going. You don't gotta strive for nothing. You don't gotta effort. You don't gotta work out of alignment with you. We're talking inspired action towards where you're going. Focus. You're focusing. You're focusing on you. Aries is not a selfish energy in a negative way. Aries is directed to where they are going. And that's why they're so lucky. They're lucky in business, they're lucky in love, they're lucky in all of these things. They don't focus on their failures, and neither do you have to. So we're gonna pause this channeled message about the astrology here, and I'm just sending you so much good energy. Keep tending to your beautiful heart. Keep tending to your beautiful heart. You are headed in the right direction. Just keep going. I'll see you very soon. I'll catch you in the future. Bye.